In a world where Maitland McDonough, First Lady of Horror, speaks, and you have a front row seat. This is Maitland on movies, horror, double feature.
So, Maitland, what'd you see this week?
This week I saw a movie called Backrooms, and my first reaction when I saw that title was, oh, not really sure this is my cup of tea, because when you think about backrooms, you think about backroom deals, right? You know, people going behind the backs, out of the normal loop, and figuring out a way to cheat, usually, to their own advantage. The backrooms here are a whole other kind of thing. It starts with a man going to see his therapist. He's deeply troubled. She's not really sure what exactly his problem is, but she can see that it's deeply damaging to him, so she tries to figure it out, and then he disappears. So she decides to try and investigate. And what she's investigating is a thing that he's been talking about all along, which is the back rooms. Most of us, when we hear the term back rooms, what do we think? Right? We think that that's where people go to do dirty deals, to figure out a way to cheat other people, to put themselves at the front of the pack. These back rooms exist behind the walls of this vanished patient's downstairs.
Okay.
You can put your hand through them. Okay, it's very creepy. And what the back rooms turn out to be is a bizarre liminal space. You're not where you came from, but you're not where you're probably going. You're just stuck betwixt and between, which, first of all, is a truly haunting idea. It really doesn't bear thinking about at 2:00 in the morning, because you just don't want to. But it's also really beautifully designed in this movie, because the back rooms are all yellow. It's one yellow room after another. Most people don't paint their walls yellow, because yellow is just not a color you want to look at all the time, right? To be surrounded by. And
my school painted its walls yellow. Might explain a few things.
Was there a rethinking of that at some point?
Well, they eventually bulldozed the entire building and made condos, so that was a rethinking, but yes.
Well, there's your lesson about yellow walls, right? And also, of course, there's the Charlotte Gilman Perkins story, the yellow wallpaper, which is slowly driving a woman insane. Every time she looks at it, it triggers something in her brain and pushes her that much closer to the edge. So the back rooms, completely yellow. They look very ordinary.
Yeah.
But they're endless. There is no way out of the back rooms.
So my immediate thought as a New Yorker is, what's the rent on this place?
And can I get delivery to it?
Yeah.
Probably not, because probably everybody's heard about those yellow rooms. It's like, don't go near them. That's a problem. It's a really haunting movie because vaguely disturbing things happen, but it's not a huge horror show mostly. It's just this incredible unease that's generated by being in a space that's not here and not there.
So the creeping dread.
It's very creeping, and it is very, very disturbing. And there are a number of people down there, which takes the protagonist of this movie a little while to figure out. But there's also just stuff going on. You can feel it even before you see it. It is an absolute nightmare. It's like that really bad nightmare you had where you were stuck someplace and you couldn't get out of it. It's endless corridors and rooms that open into other rooms that open into other rooms, and there is no end to it. It's a brilliant concept, and it is really, really well realized, because there's nothing overtly terrifying about it, except for the fact that all the walls are yellow. Yeah, you don't want to
But
be
you're
in
saying that the directorial tone, the acting, the music, sound effects, everything draws you in the right direction.
It does, but without ever hitting you in the face with it.
Yeah.
You realize at a certain point into the movie that there are places where really bad things happen here in the yellow rooms. But then there are a bunch of other yellow rooms where the worst thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to be bored to death because there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
It's a really, really wonderful concept and very, very well realized and not boring, even though you spend pretty much the entire movie in these rooms, mostly empty rooms. There are a couple that are not, and they're very disturbing.
Is this a large cast movie, a small cast movie?
It's a relatively small cast. There probably are a lot more people in there than you see in the movie, but it is limited to a relatively small number of people who are clearly being driven out of their minds by the fact that they don't really know how they got here. They're clearly mulling over various reasons that they have been thrust into this horrible yellow limbo.
So very much like my high school.
There you go. It's a very quiet nightmare. There are a couple of times where you do get the sense that, that there are genuinely horrifying things down here, but most of it is the horror of, I don't remember exactly how I got here. I'm thinking as hard as I can, and I can't figure out a way to get out. And there's nothing down here except this endless series of yellow rooms, which also makes me think about that Charlotte Gilman Perkins story, The Yellow Wallpaper, because yellow is kind of a creepy color.
It's like yellow.
Kind of like Giallo, yes. It's kind of too bright, doesn't go with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of people look kind of sickly when they're around it. There's a reason it's not the number one choice for painting people's apartments, right? Especially if you're trying to sell it.
Yeah.
White. Paint it white. Nobody can disagree with white. It's just absence of color, basically, except that it covers up the walls.
Yeah.
So this is not a movie, I think, for everybody, because although there are some really good shocks in it, a lot of it is pure internal horror.
So who is the audience? Who would you recommend this movie to?
I would recommend this to anybody who has ever had a nightmare where they were stuck someplace and they couldn't get out of it. It's really good for that. But it's also really good for anybody who's willing to just wait and see what happens, even if it looks as though nothing's going to happen. Because, some things do happen. So you're not waiting for nothing. But most of it is the incredible horror of isolation and of not being able to figure out how to get out when it seems to you that it shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
We all know that no matter how big and labyrinthine a building is, there are entrances and exits someplace. Yeah. You just have to knuckle down and figure out where they are. This isn't like that. It's a very quiet nightmare.
So we're going to give this a big thumbs up for qualified audiences.
I completely give it a big thumbs up, although I don't think it's everybody's cup of tea. Okay. And if you want to know more about what I think about this movie, by all means, visit maitlandonmovies.substack.com.
That's where you can always get more Maitland. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Charles.
If you enjoyed this podcast, you can get even more Maitland at maitlandonmovies.substack.com.
On behalf of Maitland McDonough and myself, Charles Baruch, we wish you nothing but happy dreams.